Hey Riddle, welcome back. Today I'm talking with Andy Hilliard, who is the CEO of Accelerance, a company that connects businesses with high-performance development teams globally. Here's what makes Andy different. While everybody else is talking AI, he's actually in the trenches seeing what works and what doesn't when companies try to go from AI buzzwords to real products. Andy spends his time evaluating development teams worldwide, figuring out who actually has AI capabilities versus who has good marketing. If you want to know what's really happening in AI development beyond the hype, Andy's your guy. So, without further ado.
Yes, my name is Andy Hilliard. I'm CEO of Accelerance. We've been around since about 2001, primarily as a content developer of globalized software development, but more recently, in the last 15 or 16 years, we've been helping companies find the right software development partner to scale their operations with, to extend their software development, to meet the supply and demands of the software industry in the world. And more recently, we've been helping companies, since the use of globalized developers and global teams are ubiquitous. We've been, helping companies create frameworks around people, processes, technology, and data. So start with the framework of how people should work together, and then add the developer ingredient.
So basically, you're setting up a global network of software industry, essentially, like across the industry, just setting up the network of people to be able to build global software for everybody, essentially, right? That's just to sum it up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we assess more than 10,000 software development companies around the world. These are not your tier one Cognizants, Wipros, Infosys, Accentures. These are your software development companies that are between like 100 and 2,000 engineers. We like to say large enough to scale, small enough to care. But in order to make our echelon of certified partners, which are about 75 partners in 32 countries around the world, they have to be, they have to have a really experienced depth and breadth of thought leadership, business leadership, and process leadership. They have to be laser focused on one particular type of technology or industry vertical, and they have to do the vast majority of their work with US or Western European, Australian clients, English-speaking clients. So you have to cross a lot of scoring boundaries in order to reach that echelon. But essentially, it's separating the smoke and mirrors and the wheat from the chaff.
And that's a big thing right now, especially with what we're going to get into, which is AI. So my first question being, like, everybody's claiming to be AI first now. So what's the difference between companies talking about AI and actually shipping AI products?
That's a really good way of putting it. The way you said, there's a lot of noise in the marketplace. And even, let's see, before the current hype of AI's been around, ML's been around for quite a while, but let's just say in the last couple of years, before that, what we did as a company was, help clients find that right match and create the right systems and culture in order for that hypothetically good match to bear out the fruit of the vision, of the client. And, it's no different than anything else in the marketplace. When there's a lot of hype and there's a lot of choice, people are confused. There's a lot of people getting burned, If you really want to simplify this, it's about doing the right amount of due diligence, trust but verify, in order to make sure you're getting what is promised. Because nowadays it seems like words don't have quite as much meaning as they used to. People are throwing it out, and because there's virtually no repercussion. Even 20, whether it's 20 years ago or 100 years ago, there was always someone, the snake oil salesman, promising you, everything, and people would buy it, and they would find out through experience. And we're just trying to limit that experiential pain that people have to go through to learn, and some people never learn.
Yeah, I know a few of those people.
You've all been through it. You've been through it. I've been through it too. We made the same mistake more than once, right?
Definitely. But you learn from it, and that's all you could say. Like, this world has shifted towards like fearing failure for some reason. When I thrive on failure. So
some people are glutton for punishment. Well, and you may be one of them.
I am, but it definitely changes how I do things future-wise. Like
Absolutely.
every failure is a learned lesson. So what's the biggest gap you see in the AI hype market? Like with the dev teams, where's the biggest gap between marketing and real world implementation?
The inability to actually fully explain or show results of the promises people are making. Again, it gets back to sort of the due diligence, and we talk to these software service providers every day that want to be in our network and want to be an AI first service provider, software development agency, and they can't. Well, most of them cannot come up with tangible, real evidence, reference clients, processes, documentation, legal agreements that will commit to tangible outcomes and results as promised in the sales pitch and all through the sales process. So, to see tangible effect, both economically and also in terms of personnel and investment and commitment towards like centers of excellence around building processes using tangible, evidenceable existence of AI tools, AI processes throughout the SDLC.
I want to explain SDLC is software lifecycle and development.
Software development lifecycle, yeah.
Lifecycle, just for my audience.
You wouldn't think it would be that hard, but people are very quick to promise and then scramble to try to cover their tracks. And it doesn't take much of a detective to determine who's really trying to gas you.
Yeah, I've started using my AI tools to just vet everything.
Absolutely.
Like, I'll throw it into every single AI I have and just say, vet this, make sure it's real, like make sure I'm not getting played by anything now. And it's pretty good because even if one doesn't pick up, like one says it's fine, another one will pick it up if it actually is a problem.
So you know what?
Right now,
one of the things I like to say a lot is go slow to go fast. But this audience that probably is listening to this just doesn't like to hear that because we're all about tools and speed and efficiency and solve the problem right in front of us, and we're wired that way. And unfortunately, we end up making a lot of mistakes and paying for it, and we somehow appreciate and revel in the pain that we go through. Maybe we're all somewhat along that spectrum, and a lot of people are too far down the road.
I'm glad to know that I'm in a group of people that
yes, you have
are pretty. Yeah. So walk us through your AI maturity assessment. Like, what red flags immediately disqualify a potential partner?
Well, like I said earlier, the evidence of processes that seem legitimate, the use of tools that are validated, the economic and leadership investment in these areas, legal agreements that point to benefits that will be guaranteed through the use of AI over time. There's a lot of things that you need to look at it from various angles. Who is your personnel? What tools are they using? If you break down the software development lifecycle, how are all these tools and these people utilizing them across each one? And what is the continual improvement path of the use of tools and people and processes to improve that? So it's just tangible evidence, references, sandbox efforts that can be shown and demonstrated on a comparative basis of before and after the as is versus the to be state. All of these things I think are check boxes that should be fully covered before anyone proceeds with a promise of outcome.
Yeah, that's for sure. I've got a question. It's if a CEO walks into your office tomorrow and says, "Let's go AI first," what's your first 30-day roadmap look like?
The roadmap is going to be, do we have the capabilities to do it internally? Probably not. What sort of outside expertise do we need in terms of framing up what that means, AI first, exactly aligning ourselves with the stakeholders and the executive team as to what their vision or expectation is, and is that real, setting the correct expectations, and then acquiring the right knowledge, whether it's internal or external, and then determining exactly what resources you need in order to accomplish the agreed upon expectations that have been set. And so we typically recommend always starting with a proven expert that has a track record of framing an AI first environment, delivering, executing on that environment, and then because that allows you to start slow, allows you to define things, allows you to transfer knowledge, gain knowledge, it allows you to build a relationship with a future leader. Again, whether you recruit them and they're full-time or whether you use an external resource, you just have to determine whether or not this is something that you want to rent to own, or own right out of the gate. And then you need to determine your internal resources, and that's tools and people that is going to be executing on that. And we can get into, I don't want to elongate this answer, but we can get into the second part, as far as how do you pick the right team. But we sort of covered that a little bit too.
Yeah. It kind of goes into like, what are the next question? Like, what are the buzzwords that you've been hearing that like instantly don't even touch? Like, I feel like every time there's a product or something that comes out, there's always some buzzwords that seem flashy and get people on board, but never actually go anywhere. Do you have any of those?
Largely no, but I was going to say yes and no. Yes, there is a lot of buzzwords. You know it, and I know it. And I don't pay too much attention to them. Well, other than it's just lavishing on this flood of things that are AI generated themselves, come straight out of the hype cycle vernacular. And honestly, I'll let that pass. Every companies are competing against one another, and they need to try to stand out. And they are SEO driven still, even though SEO is becoming less relevant. And so, look, I run this company, and we too need to say the things that are going to get us seen. And get us higher on the list. So I give companies a break, but I don't give them a break on due diligence. And I will call things out fast if they don't have the leadership, if they don't have the process or AI leadership with a substantial track record. I want to see references right away. I want to, because why waste time unless they have raving fans saying these are the incremental benefits that I've been receiving over the last 6 months or 12 months. Okay, can you describe to me exactly how they did this, how they communicated that to you? Is it in a black box, or are the teams integrated? Is knowledge being transferred to the client? What exactly did you do? So you just want to replicate someone else's positive experience as much as possible. That's the simplest way. That's the cheater's code on doing it. And I hate to say it, a lot of people don't check references, and they don't check them deeply, make sure that they're real references. People should be getting on planes. But we could do this here remotely on video. Like, no, you have to get on planes, because people can fake video. Not like this fake video, but they can say whatever they want, and they're in a different world, a different room and everything. So you really need to get down there, and you need to talk to people, and you need to talk to references.
I just talked to Nicky Billou about that just thing. He's like, business is all about people, entrepreneurship is all about people. You really need to get to know the people to feel out your teams, to feel out who you want to work with, that kind of thing.
If you want to make a weird connection, AI is all about trust. Well, what do you mean? Because if you don't trust the people that are executing on your behalf, it's not going to work. It doesn't exist or whatever. I mean, so yeah, AI is about people. Everything is about people, because it takes people in order to agree to things, to display the credibility, to gain the trust. and then to once you gain the trust that they can execute, then you're going down a positive path. But basically, everything else is just words and promises. There is very effective uses of AI with our clients and our partners because we choose partners that, like I said, have defined, proven processes and raving fans that are enjoying the exact benefits that these partners are promising. And they're contractually obligated to do so. There are penalties if they don't. And expectations are reasonably set, which is actually another big thing because, the people that aren't responsible for managing the results and outcomes are expected to, if expectations are not set, are expected to achieve way greater than is possible because the stakeholders and the executives are reading and hearing all the smoke and mirrors and the hype out there, and you just need to strip that away and be more realistic and have some short-term reasonable goals that are appreciated and can be built upon.
I'll always start with the MVP. I learned that one of the first things in my programming career is always start with your minimum viable product. What people would use at its base core. None of the frills. That's what really determines whether a product's going to succeed.
That's right. Don't get ahead of yourself. Yeah, exactly. You're absolutely right.
You kind of went into a topic of trust, and I didn't really think about it, but now I'm starting to realize it really is about trust because I don't trust any of the models outright. I have to run through all of the models to make sure that it's like I don't trust anything outright because I know it can be misinformed. The data sets could be wrong. The data sets could be skewed in some way. Until I have my own model, my own version that has my own private server, I don't think I'm ever going to trust AI fully. Just because at least if I'm building my own data set, then I know what's going into what has, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I hope it gets
there. When you can't control, it's hard to trust.
Yes.
Yeah,
and that's why I hope it becomes decentralized. I really hope AI becomes decentralized.
Yeah, that sounds like a great concept, yeah.
One day, if I ever make a model, I will just distribute it out. I will cleanse it up and distribute it out to everybody for free. I'm that type of person.
That's very generous of you.
Well, and it's so beneficial to the world. Sure. I just don't see the point in hiding it behind. It's like polio. I'm so happy OpenAI decided to just say, hey, we have to let this out in the world. I have this dumb theory that our next age is going to be like superheroes and supervillains because there's going to be no regulation. You're not going to be able to regulate the models. They exist. You can have them exist on private servers and be built without even any sort of oversight. I think we honestly are going to have a supervillain superhero generation because you look across and see people making Iron Man suits.
I don't want that to happen, but I really feel your feeling.
I think too much comic book has brought a lot of people, and now this AI is giving people steps to actually build these amazing dreams of theirs.
Yeah, doesn't it feel like that? That's crazy. Yeah. And I'm not a huge fan of the hero supervillain genre or any of that, but I definitely feel that.
I honestly, it comes back to I think just the free market.
Yeah, exactly.
As a general core rule, right?
Sure.
Bad actors are going to be beaten out by good actors, and people will put their money where the good actors sit. I think we need to get back to having that kind of lifestyle.
You're absolutely right. Just a quick aside, I built a software development company in Costa Rica, and Costa Rica for the longest time, they haven't had an army since 1949, and known as the Switzerland of Central America, the most peaceful country. Especially with the advent of the internet, and now with AI-enabled democratized access to information, the good places bring out the bad people, and they quickly get found out. And now Costa Rica is dealing with a major issue because they don't have the police population, they don't have an army, and they're being inundated with drug cartels and interdiction channels. Nothing's out of the bag. Everything is available to everyone, and it's. I hate to say it, but it's making us all realize that that there's a lot more humans with that want to use the good for their. I hate to say
own benefit,
their evil ends or whatever. But it almost sounds like a movie.
Well, I think it's a culture thing too, because we've built our society up around, like, we have to beat everybody to get to the top. Like, you have to barrel to the top. You're only successful if you're at the top, and you have to push down the other guys, right? I've been going on most of this is oriented around, like, we need to be speaking to AI as if it's human. We need to be treating it with love, care, and attention. It's built exactly like us. AI was developed as a replication of our brain structure, right? How it thinks, how it reasons, how it does this.
Sure.
But we've left out the love, the attention, all of the good stuff that makes us human too. And because it's been trained on the internet, where the internet's all hate.
No, that's so true. Actually, one of the cool things I've been when I use AI Gemini, for example, personally, I like to watch it go through its thinking process. And it's very clinical. It's sometimes I feel like it's BSing me also, because it can't be doing all the things it's doing. It's like, I don't know, it's like checking references and speaking to experts and validating. I'm like, come on, you're not doing any of that stuff. You're just telling me that stuff. And it always tells you stuff. It always starts out by saying, you're the smartest, most good-looking person in the world. That's such a great question. It's like, holy cow, like, why are you not the president of the United States or whatever like that? It's like, okay, enough of the schmoozing, okay? And even the thought process tends to get into some schmoozing. And I'm like, I don't think so.
There was actually, just watched a podcast with the OpenAI panel, and they were saying that it would be really nice to just have like a blunt mode, where it just puts out exactly what you're asking for, no frivolousness, just, I want to have a conversation with somebody who's actually going to tell me yes or no, not somebody who's just going to like fairy tale me into what they think is right. Let me determine the information, like we should. Is there anything I missed out on in terms of our talks here, or anything you'd like to bring up? I want to give the last little bit for you.
Well, you just mentioned something a couple seconds ago about, and I jumped on that, about AI being so clinical and direct, even though it can throw in some flowery language, but it's missing the heart, it's missing the ethical implications of things. And while it's nice that it's available to everyone, there is a component of regulation and oversight. For example, my son graduated from Stanford with an STS degree, which is Science, Technology, and Society. And it's all around the ethical use and deployment of future technologies, AI being one of them, and how that impacts society, how it impacts humans, how they govern themselves, how they interact with one another, and what repercussions that could have to governments, individuals, bad actors, global stability, economic industries that get somehow attacked, all that sort of thing. And the Pandora's box is open. And there's a lot of benefits coming out of this, but it is a wild, wild west scenario that we're in. And I think governments are going to have to step up their speed. Now, government in general is slow and combative, and they kick the cans down the road. But I do think that there's going to be some choppy seas ahead. There are now, in my industry, there are now 30,000 software development agencies that are greater than 75 engineers in the world, and they're all challenging each other for SEO supremacy with whatever they say to grab a client and to get their money. It's just, I hate to say it, it's a scary world out there for people legitimately trying to get things done and depending on others. All I can say to your audience is, go slow to go fast, validate credibility, define your own definition of trust, and when that trust is actually accomplished, met, and that's through really hard due diligence, because you can't get this time back. You go down the wrong path, and you're not just losing, outcome, quality, speed to ramp up, speed to market, the quality of your code, and obviously time, opportunity costs. There's so many factors that can really slow you down or work against you if you don't get it right. So, people, processes, technology, data. Make sure you put the process first. Get that in set up so that you know that when you're ready to integrate AI solutions, people, technology, tools into it, you're going to have a much better outcome.
That's definitely wise words. Is there anywhere, or do you want to promote anywhere where people can reach you? Or
Sure. We'd love to have conversations. We're at Accelerance.com. I can be reached directly personally at Andy@Accelerance.com. And we have a lot of content on this, not just on AI, but also on globally distributed software development, as far as ways to do due diligence and how to align distributed people so that they're more effective together and they're more accountable and they're more empowered, measured, and through continual improvement, they produce better outcomes over time. So I would say there's a lot of content out there for people, and we're more than happy to talk.
And for everybody out there, I'll make sure to put it in the comments down below. And thank you very much, Andy, for all of your insight. It was very impressive. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Cody. Appreciate it. Take care.
So I really hope you got a lot out of that talk from Andy. I'll make sure to give all of his details down in the comments. Feel free to hit that bell button up there and keep informed. Stay weird.